Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Dion's Daily Dose. So, I have some bad news. I have not heard back from Mr. Delano Scaife. I sent him the link in order to connect to the stream. I've asked him a couple of times if he received the link, and I have not heard from him. So, we're going to give him a few more minutes and see if maybe something came up. He hasn't answered me. He hasn't replied. I know it's kind of, the light's not fantastic. I had this set up to use my other camera. So for those of you just joining us, I'm still waiting to hear back from Delano. I left him the link for him to connect, and he has not responded. I sent him a message asking if he received said link. So we're kind of waiting. So I apologize. It's not me. If anybody wants receipts, I can send you the screenshots. He agreed to come on last week. This has been set up for a little bit. So hopefully, he's just running a little late and he'll be on. So in the meantime, we're going to talk about the crazy stuff that this guy running for the Democrat nomination has been talking about. So this guy is actually wanting people to die. Of course, I'm referring to Ryan Farrar. He has posted on Twitter and other places that he's perfectly okay. That matter of fact, he wishes an extraordinary amount of, in his word, maggots, MAGATS. Apparently, that's supposed to be a derogatory term for people who support the president. I guess that's the only way that I can think of it. I've seen it before, but never really paid it much mind. But this guy actually, if you support the president of the United States and apparently voted for him, then he wants you to die. He absolutely wants you to perish from this virus that is going around. Yeah, so Connie said he's lurking out there. Maybe he's somewhere out there, referring to Delano. Chris Wells said it was draft day. That's true. Maybe he's watching the draft instead. Dave said maybe Farrar can join us. I mean, look, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, here's what I was planning on doing, right? I was planning on giving all of my Republican opponents an opportunity to come on. And it's not a debate. We're trying to get a debate going, right? We are trying to get a virtual debate with all the Republican candidates. I'm not going to spoil that because I'm not in charge of it, but it is in the works. We're trying to get that happening. But it's not, it's not official yet. So we're still putting it together. But my hope was that I could give all the Republicans an opportunity to come on, and then I would extend the offer to all of my Democrat colleagues. Here's the thing: we know who may do it, who probably won't. That's fine. I'm not. But look, this guy, man, this guy, and I released an open letter because it's it's one of those things that I understand that not everyone's going to feel the way that I feel about the president, about policies, stuff like that. I understand that. We have a lot of different views. There are some who believe in Medicare for all. There's some who believe that, we should open the borders. I understand that, right? I get that. I don't wish harm or death on any of these people simply because their views are different than me. Yeah, where did I see it? Chris says, "Guess love doesn't trump hate after all." Right, and that's the thing is for the party of inclusion, the party of tolerance. When you wish death on someone else, that's not really inclusion or tolerance, is it? Again, for those of you just joining us, I have not heard back from Delano. I sent him the link in order to connect. I keep hoping that we'll hear from him, but so far we're not hearing anything. I sent him the link. You guys saw that I had it up, and I sent him the link a couple hours ago at least, and then I sent him another message a few minutes ago, and unfortunately I have not heard back from him. So it is what it is. So that's unfortunate. Oh yeah. So, Cooley said, "I'll bring camera." Excellent. Yeah, we can do some good stuff. I got to get with you. That reminds me. I keep one thing I will say about running for office, right? If any of you have ever run for office before, you'll like almost get caught up on stuff. You'll be like, okay, so I got this and this and this, right? I got this done. I got that done. And then all of a sudden you'll check your email and you'll have like 30 new emails that you have to respond to. And then you have, these things going on and these people that are like, hey, we need you to do this or we need you to do that. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I only have, a handful of people helping me. I don't have some huge team. So look, here's the thing. If I do, get elected by you, if I do get the people to vote for me through the primary, I'm going to need a lot more help. I'm really hoping that the party comes through, that they truly will 100% back whoever wins the nomination, especially, if it's me, because I'm going to need a lot more help. It's one thing to, to run in the primary and actually, win that. But to win a general, that's going to be a lot, right? So we'll have to wait and see. Let's see here. We have, right. So was said he's now saying no one understands his humor. Now, I will say, yeah, I saw that post right on Ryan Farrar's Twitter. He claims that, everybody takes me too seriously. Nobody understands my humor. Now, I don't know if he's referring to the post, but he has said multiple times that he meant it, that he absolutely meant it, and he would not apologize for it. And I mean, I got to say, I'm always talking about how stand by what you say, right? Stand by what you say. And to his credit, he's all in. He is all in. There are people that are asking for Tucker Carlson and a couple other places to have him and I on. I think that would be awesome to be on. Obviously it would help a lot being on such a national stage, but more importantly, can you imagine Tucker's face talking to this guy? Like that quizzical face that he gives, which I gotta admit is one of my favorite parts of watching Tucker, is that face that he gives. I can't emulate it very well, but the face that he gives when he's trying to wait for someone to say something so blatantly stupid that he has to jump in, right? And yeah, Cam says, yeah, right. Tom says usually humor has an LOL in it. I agree. The part for me though that's really interesting is I haven't seen, and now if anybody has seen, let me know and I will mention that, but I have yet to see any of the candidates on the left disavow him, right? I haven't seen a single person say, no, we're not okay with that. But the interesting thing to me is there was an article, right, that ran in I believe it was the WI Times, when Ryan Farrar had talked about going and getting a firearm, right? He talked about becoming one of those Second Amendment people. That was he quoted with quotes, one of those Second Amendment people, if Trump wins re-election. Now, the interesting thing to me is let's see, I believe they talked to Mervin. I know they talked to Mayor Tom. I'm not sure about anybody else, but they actually said, oh, no, that doesn't represent us. Okay. Cam says nobody has yet. He's been checking, and Dan Carden was the reporter on the article that I'm talking about. I appreciate that. Yeah, Chris Wells said, I believe they don't want to draw attention to him. I think you're right. It's crazy. It's just, I'm sorry. It's insane. Yeah, Dave said, I guess I'll have to get a new Twitter account so I can see his posts since he's blocked me. That's another thing, actually, that someone brought up on my page earlier. As a candidate running, now I know once you're an elected official, you're actually not allowed to block anyone on social media that's in your district, right? The Supreme Court has ruled on this. Trump and AOC. They actually have blocked people on Twitter, and we're told that's not okay. You have to unblock these people. Now, my question to you guys is, does that apply to someone who has been elected? And I also have been told that McDermott has blocked people on his Facebook page. Now, he's the mayor. People who are in his district, I don't know that he's allowed to do that. But is a candidate allowed to block people? My personal thing is, I would think that on your personal, you're allowed to block, but on your candidate page, you're not. Twitter's a little different, I think, especially because like Trump, he uses his personal Twitter as his official Twitter. And so let's see here. Yeah, Liz said it's okay to disagree, but not to threaten. I agree. I disagree with people all the time. Cam says he's blocked me also, which is funny, Cam, because he has your picture and has essentially said this is the guy behind the GOP attempt to discredit me. Cam Wild, he has. I saw Ferrara's Twitter earlier today. He has a picture. It's a few posts down, but he put your picture up from your Twitter, I guess, and said this is the guy behind the GOP attempt to, and there was a bunch of other crazy stuff. Give me just a moment. I'm going to double check and see if anything from Delano yet. No. Listen, we're just going to assume, because that's, I don't like jumping to conclusions, especially negative conclusions. I'm going to assume something came up and he wasn't able to join us for whatever reason. So here it is, was 15 after. I think it's pretty safe to say that he's not going to show, which that's unfortunate. It really is. I even waited a minute or so. As you guys notice, I was a minute or so late getting this started because I was hoping that he would, I was hoping that he'd show up. Again, I'm going to assume that something happened. If I do this again with him, then I will make sure to communicate with him on a much more regular basis. So this is another thing. Wife said, just like you're supposed to get permission to put signs on property. So there are multiple, and Paul says not put on public land either. Look, there are multiple stories out there about candidates, one in particular, who is consistently putting signs where they do not have permission. This is This is very unfortunate. It is not. It's look. We don't. Here's the thing: if a candidate is going to break something as simple as that in a rule, right? What are they willing to do once they get to Congress and have real power, right? Real money behind them, real people that are saying, hey, I want you to do this, right? Lobbyists, stuff like that. If they're willing to break those tiny little rules, like getting permission before you put your property on someone else's property, what more rules are they willing to break? Now, look, we know McDermott's dirty. We know this. The guy has to pay money back for his campaign. His wife, he's putting stuff on people's property that doesn't have permission. Look, if he's willing to do that, what else is he willing to do, right? So appreciate everybody joining me. For those of you just joining, unfortunately, I have not heard back from Delano. I sent him the link to connect. He has not responded. I sent him the link several hours ago. So I don't know what happened. He said he was all about it. He said he was looking forward to it. I'm going to assume that something came up. It happens. So I wish that he had, let me know. But yeah. Oh, and Connie makes a very good point. We Trump supporters have been attacked since Trump won. Yes, we have. That's something else that I want to mention. I didn't get into it, that much into the letter, obviously, but there's only one side really that I see hate coming from, right? I don't see Republicans out there calling for people to, hurt people. I don't see Republicans wishing death on people. I don't see Republicans out there wanting people to be hurt. I don't see Republicans driving through a tent where people are being registered. I don't see Republicans hitting people because of hats or attacking people because of their beliefs. I only see that from the party of tolerance, right? Love trumps hate. Liz says we've lost family over all this, right? We have family that wants to believe, they really want to believe what the media tells them. They want to believe that these people, right, all the millions and millions of people that voted for Donald Trump for president, like a switch flipped on them or something, and they all became the worst dregs of society. Now, I do want to address that, okay? Let's think about it like this. If you believe, you've known someone your whole life, right? You've known whether they were, a racist, a homophobe, or whatever, right? Add your ist or phobe out there. You know them. You know how they are. And they suddenly tell you, or you learn, right, through their posts on social media that they voted for Donald Trump. Do you believe, realistically, honestly, do you believe that they would have voted for this man and continue to stand by this man if we believe that he was those things? Really, honestly, because it's that you have to believe that. If you believe that Trump is all the things that the mainstream media make him out to be, right? If you believe that he's this never-ending stream, because it really is, it's never-ending stream of bad things, then you have to believe that the people who voted for him, especially the ones who continue to stand by him, who say, yeah, that's my president, yeah, I back my president, you have to believe that they believe that he is that way. And then they are that way, right? If the mainstream media was right. Now, I'm here to tell you the mainstream media is not right, okay? Have there been some things Trump said that I was like, oh, God, I'm going to have to defend that tomorrow? Of course. He has no filter, right? My president has no filter. He's like, what? No, yeah, I'll say it again, too. He doesn't care, right? Do I think he's a racist? Absolutely not. Look, as a matter of fact, have you heard of the two Democratic candidates, right? The one from Detroit who said, "Thank you for saving my life," and was censored by the DNC. They told her, "You can't, we're not going to endorse you for anything. Uh, we're not going to help you. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that." And then Vernon Jones from Georgia, right? He's in the Georgia legislature, and he endorsed Donald Trump for president, right? The DNC basically set out to destroy this man's career. It got so bad that he was like, you know what? I'm just going to resign. I'm just going to resign. And people flooded his page with support, right? Flooded him, called him, told him, look, man, we got your back. I know that the DNC, is doing this and doing that, but we got your back. Do you honestly believe we have countless people, the Blexit movement, hashtag BLEXIT, look it up. It is massive amounts of the black population that are saying the Democrat Party does not represent our interests. They have lied to us for years and years and years. Do you believe that these people, after all this time, would continue to move away from the Democrat Party and to the Republican Party to support Donald Trump for president if they believe for a moment that these things being said by the mainstream media were true, right? Of course not. Of course not. Let me get with the comments here for a moment. Paul did make a good point. I want to comment on those posts so bad, but I'm not wanting an argument with Zimmerman or Leno. I know. Look, there are people who are going to support someone for a position, right? And this actually goes down to the other comment. It's sad that some of them are defending Biden over this charge, right? There are people who are going to support candidates who it makes no sense to us, right? It makes no sense. Let's take Biden as an example, right? Biden has messed with little kids, right? Now, I'm not saying he's molested any because there's no evidence of that, but it's very, very creepy the way that he smells their hair. And like, there's a video of him touching a girl and her trying to pull away. There's a video of Jeff Sessions pushing his hand away from a little kid. There are people, and look, I'm going to put it like this. If you called for Kavanaugh's resignation, right? If you were leading the charge for Kavanaugh to resign, because you believed these ridiculous allegations by someone who has now vanished, by the way, and you are not calling for some sort of investigation on Biden, if you are endorsing Biden but wanted Kavanaugh to resign, then you are the definition of a hypocrite. That's just the way it is. At the very least. Now, one thing that I do find interesting is we've heard that Obama said, you don't have to do this, Joe. You don't have to do this. Why is Biden, why is he even running? Why did it take Obama so long to endorse Biden? The point is, there are people that are going to vote for people that we just don't understand it, right? But we don't want them to hurt. We don't want pain for them. We don't want them, we don't want that stuff. That's what separates the people, I guess, from reality, right? If you want someone hurt because they disagree with you politically, there's an issue there. Chris says, I saw Bill Griffin on here. Did you see the short video he posted today about Mervin calling out, Mayor T? No, I haven't, but I want to see it. Send me the link for that because I'd love to watch it. Let's see here. Let me get caught up. Let's see here. Jack says, if elected and you make one statement on your personal account in regard to anything government, your personal account can be construed like a political account. Okay. All right. I appreciate that, Jack. Thank you for the information. Do you know how that applies before you get elected, though? Like currently, as I'm running, is my personal account still my personal, or Is it construed as a political? If I post anything political, I'm just wondering, because I'm very careful about the things that I share to my personal, like Facebook, for example, and the things that I share to my congressional, Dion for Congress Facebook. Uh, yeah, Liz says they're being led by Nancy Pelosi, aka Nancy Antoinette. Let them eat ice cream, right? Yeah, Paul says, where's the hashtag Me Too movement? Where is it? Connie, sad to say, even though there's Trump supporters, some Q people get hateful if I don't agree with everything they say. That's a good point. That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. So everyone should know, or I've said it publicly, right? I am a member. I guess you call it a member of the Q community or whatever. I received an endorsement from a PAC that was started by the guy who started 8kun, and I was actually interviewed by Vice about all this. Listen, none of us are going to agree on everything, even those who are in the same community, as it were. I will tell you that, again, my personal belief and opinion, the movement is, there are bad actors, right? Even the elusive Q has posted that disinformation is necessary on the platform, on 4chan, 8chan, 8kun. Disinformation is necessary. So there are posts, there are Q posts even, that should not be taken literally. And unfortunately, there are people that just run with it, right? They read a lot of things into it. And I'm not speaking on anyone in particular other than the so-called patriots, PAY. If someone is charging you money to learn more about the Q movement, they have ulterior motives, and that ulterior motive is greed. If someone is trying to make a lot of money off of the Q movement, it's greed. Let's see here. Yeah, Liz talking about Biden says it's like a compulsion for him to touch kids and women. Liz says, yeah, it's true, Connie. Some Q people view it as a religion. They can get weird. Yeah, there are people, right? There are people that just throw themselves completely into it and believe everything from everyone, as long as it has the hashtag WW, where we go one, we go all. As long as it has that hashtag, they're with it. It has to be true. There are people, just like there are people I still fully believe. We covered the huge deep state Spygate map the other day, right? There are people who are actively working to take that and twist it. So Tom says it's his turn. Yeah. Talking about, are you talking about Biden, or are you talking about McDermott? Because either one could think of that. Biden loses track of what he's saying after 5 minutes. Yeah, if you see, right, he had one statement. It was recent. He had one statement that he had to make about the virus, and he couldn't even finish it. He had to look at his notes. You can see him like looking down to read. It was like, wow, really? Okay, one statement. In your inbox, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, Connie said he forgets what year it is. Right. When he was talking about that whole COVID thing, he's like, 16, 17. And then before, he's going through and he's like, you know the thing. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's crazy. Like I can't. Oh, okay. So Paul says Biden, but since Tom's the one who said it, Tom said both. LOL. Right. Look, and here's what it comes down to. There are people that are running for each side, right? Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter, that are running for this district, who believe that they deserve it, that they are. Listen, there's a difference between believing you're worthy of representing the people, because I do. I believe that I'm worthy. I believe that I'm honest. Can I say I've never lied? No. When my wife asked me if these jeans make her butt look bigger, I'm not going to tell her yes, even if they do. Okay. However, I'm going to tell you that I do always try to tell the truth. My memory is not good enough to remember a string of lies. It's just not. I believe that I'm worthy, but I don't believe I deserve it. Not at all. Nobody deserves it. Nobody deserves to get elected. You get elected because you convince the voters that you're the best person to represent them. And there are certain people that I don't think would make good representatives, right? Like, let's look at this Farrar guy. I don't think he'd make a good candidate. If you want people in your district to die, I think that lets you out as a qualified representative of those people. Just my opinion. You know, she said I can't get him to lie about anything. That's not true. I tell you, dinner's good all the time. That's the truth. That's the truth. We look. There are people that just shouldn't be in Congress, right? There are people that just should not represent us. I'm going to pop back over and see. Oh, wait. Did I get something? No, still nothing from Delano. So I don't know if he got the dates mixed up. I told him Saturday, but it's okay. It's all right. It is what it is. So yeah, Chris says he's not running for those people. That's right. He even said it, right? He said, I'm not running to represent everyone. Not you. He was actually referring to the one of the first people to call him out on the insanity. And he said, I'm not running for you know what? Jack has a good point too. He says honesty and truthfulness are not the same thing. Being honest means not telling lies. Being truthful means actively making known all the full truth of a matter. You know what? I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate the distinction. Most of you by now know, a lot about my history. I've talked about it before. I try to be as truthful and honest as I can. I try to do both. I try to have full transparency. I'm going to tell you, right? Because I'd much rather just put it out there, right, than try to hide it. That's also why I don't delete my social media posts unless I make a blatant, obvious error. Usually to do with spelling. Like I have made a Twitter post that I had a spelling error in, so I deleted and post the same thing corrected. Cam has districts are very diverse, and you have to represent them all. He posted the U that he missed. See, that's 100% correct. The district has a lot of different people in it, right? Michigan City is very different than Hammond. It's like a small version of Hammond, but Hammond and Gary are two different cities. Maryville's different than Lowell, right? Westville, very different than Gary. You have to be prepared to represent your voters, the citizens in your district who are counting on you to represent your voice in the government of this great country. That's just the way it is. Jack says, but if they unknowingly say something that isn't true, they are being honest. Right. Look, there have been times when I have said things that I thought were true, right, but were not because I was misled. That I was being honest because in my mind, it was true, right? It goes back to much earlier posts on Facebook. I posted misinformation or disinformation or whatever you want to call it because I believed that information was correct, but it was not. So I was being honest, but I wasn't being truthful, I guess, because the information wasn't true. I try to avoid doing that now. I try to always, it's one reason why you won't see like a ton of posts from me. I try to verify anything before I post it because let's face it, people have posted things and it's been the end of their career. I'm not trying to go to Congress to represent the District 1 in order to mislead people. I want everyone to have a voice, which is why I'm also the only one to propose 24-hour communication with the candidate, right? I plan on having shifts on social media so that with a contact line so that voters who can't communicate with the office 9 to 5, right? Congressional candidates are given almost $1 million $900 something thousand for their staff, right? You can't tell me that somehow we can't figure out a way to have a 24-hour line so that people who work crazy hours, like at the mill or other places, third shift, whatever, can communicate with their representative on the hours that are convenient for them. That's a big thing for me, because when I worked nights, I couldn't always go to the, say the water department when they were open, because I had kids, right? I couldn't just leave my kid at home. I was home with them. I was a single parent for a little bit, right? So let's see here. Cooley says, man, have to see he goes after McDermott. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Let's see here. What is TMI? Which was TMI? Sorry if I gave you TMI. Yeah. So Liz says Michigan City is not the redheaded stepchild of District 1. And I will tell you, I'm allowed to say redheaded stepchild because I have a redhead. So there you go. We have 30,000 people, right? Right. So that's what she's referring to, because Connie asked, what is 30,000 people? Michigan City, it has over 30,000 people. I think it's like 35 last I checked. The numbers kind of fluctuate, but does it have as high a population as Gary or Hammond or another place like that? Oh, no, it doesn't, right? But does that mean that Michigan City's voice shouldn't be heard? Of course not. Michigan City is just as important a piece of District 1, at least until they redistrict it again, right? And throw Michigan City back into District 2. Look, regardless of which party you're, preferable to, can we all agree that this constant redistricting and is just messing people up? Because for a while, right, I thought Michigan City was part of the other district, District 2, and then I found out that they redistricted to District 1, and now it's like, oh, we need to go, because it's up for redistricting, which I'm going to tell you, when I was down at Congress of Counties, I was at the table with the staffers, right? The staffers for all the important people, the governor, the various AG, all these people. I was at the staffer table. I do that for a reason. But they were talking about how District 1 was what they called a throwaway. The Republican Party. District 1 is a throwaway for them. It's a gimme. Because to them, it's not worth the time and effort. How frustrating is that to know that? And I feel it because, look, if I wasn't running, I'd still be a voter, right? How frustrating is it to know that your district isn't considered important? It's very frustrating for me. I said, well, look, we have the opportunity here, right? We've got the chance with the Blexit movement, with the walk-away movement, with everything else that's happening, the massive transition away from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. It is what it is, It's frustrating because to just ignore that, to ignore the huge numbers, to ignore the massive amounts of people that are ready for a change. Look, we've had the same congressman for 35 years, right? Yeah, 1985 is when Pete Visclosky got elected. There are some who like Pete. There are a lot who don't. There's obviously a lot by the numbers, right? By the fact that he keeps getting elected over and over and over, or did get. Now, he's retiring. We have an opportunity for new blood, but we also have an opportunity for new representation. We have an opportunity for a new party to take over and say, okay, I will listen to all of you, but remember, Constitution first, because that's what I believe. We need to hold our Constitution up, and that's all parts of it, right? The states should have more power than the federal government. We should be able to protect ourselves with the Second Amendment. We should have the right to speak our minds without being labeled this or labeled that. Let's see. Let me get caught up on comments here. Oh, Jack said, Google honesty versus truth in a courtroom. The distance is vast. I'll have to look that up. That's actually really interesting. Uh, Paul said, but I'm sure more from MC votes than GI, Greater Indiana. You know what? I will say there seems to be quite a few, at least primary voters in Michigan City, at least, as far as the Republican ticket goes. There are quite a few votes in Michigan City, and there are a lot of people who believe that it's time, right? It's time for a change, not just for Northwest Indiana, but for the entire country. I posted on the Michigan City page earlier, and I was asked, are you a Republican or a Democrat, right? Well, actually, they just asked Democrat ? And I put, I'm a Republican. I'm a Republican because I believe in less government overreach and more personal freedom / responsibility. Because with freedom comes responsibility. You become responsible for your own actions. But an individual answered and they said, so I'm trying to remember exactly what they said. I could bring it up, but summary, the Republican Party has become corrupt, the regressive party. It's all about greed and hate. And I responded with, there is greed on both sides of the aisle. There is corruption on both sides of the aisle. And there, at least recently, is far more hate on the left than there is on the right. And I posted my letter as a perfect example, right? You haven't heard any of the Republicans calling for anyone to die. I'm certainly not calling for it. Natalie says, especially for what we pay in taxes. Right. Michigan City needs some better representation. Oh, Connie says, I said TMI because some candidates give out too much information. Not you, but some candidates give out way too much information. And look, I like to talk. It's been apparent. Some of these live streams just, keep going. By the way, I do want to point out that I had intended to keep them very short, but I had requests to make them longer. So for those of you who like them shorter, let me know. I can do both, right? I'll do shorter ones and then longer ones. Paul referring to the Blexit movement and the walk away movement is a great tool for me and all of us. Look, we have a real opportunity here. Chris says we earned it by not voting. I agree. So many times people stayed home because what's the point, right? Dave says this is the first time in a long time the RNC should be pumping money into this election. I agree. We need official support because look, I'm going to tell you, I believe that there are a few, right? A couple definitely, besides me, a couple for sure that I think would make good reps, assuming they win. But we have to, number one, we have to get through the primary. But more importantly, we have to get through the general. It does us no good to lift up our perfect candidate if they have no chance of getting through the general. One reason that I believe that I have that opportunity and have the chance to actually get through the general is because I've dealt with all walks of people. I'm not rich, right? I'm not out of touch with blue collar. I am blue collar. I've worked at a prison. I've also been in county. I know what it's like on both sides of the bars. When I was a teenager, I got arrested for stupid stuff, criminal damage to coin-operated vending machines, right? Spraying salt water in the dollar bill slot of a Coke machine. And my son's over here laughing off camera. It was dumb. It was, absolutely. And I paid for that. There's Donovan. So I have had a couple of requests, just so you know, for people they like to see the kids more often. Let me know if you guys are with that, and I will make that happen. So Chris says seeing 4 people actually running as an R this year should change their opinions. I hope so. One of the things that I would like to see is, assuming we get past the first hurdle, right? Assuming we get our preferred candidate, one that has a chance of winning the general, into the general, it gets past the primary. Now, I will tell you that the RNC, when I went down there, I talked to several members of the party who said, with very few exceptions, and there are exceptions, I'm not going to lie, there are a couple of exceptions, candidates that are running that they said they would not back. But the rest, if that candidate wins, they are going to back them 100%. Now, does that mean they're going to throw a bunch of money? I don't know. I will tell you that I have heard from multiple people that there are big donors that are carefully watching what's happening in District 1, and they are ready to swoop in and assist whoever wins. Now, I am here to tell you, money does not buy my vote. If I win the primary and they come to me and they're like, look, you have to vote on this, and in return, I'll donate X number of dollars to your campaign, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Just like I'm not going, look, I will take whatever money that you want to donate to my campaign. I appreciate it. Absolutely. I will utilize it, but I'm not going to make any promises for it other than I'm going to represent the district. I'm going to do what's best for Indiana District 1. District 1, then Northwest Indiana, greater, right? Kind of more east and south, a little bit bigger than the district, then Indiana as a whole, then the Midwest, then the country, then our allies, then the world, in that order, because that's what we need. That's what we so desperately need. We have so many people in Congress. What are you doing? He's playing. Let me see this. He's playing with this. There, take it. This squeegee stuff, right? Not squeegee. What is it? What is that stuff?
So this is
here.
That.
Thinking putty. Okay.
It's shiny.
Super scarab. It's shiny and
Like it.
Yeah, all that. So
I'm always in the live stream, just like in the background, almost every time.
just about, yeah. Donovan likes to sit here and watch the live stream. So Natalie said, we need a candidate who has worked for what they have and understands blue collar. I wholeheartedly agree. We have too many people who are making laws for us, right, that don't understand us. They have no idea what it's like to be us, and they're not affected. I believe Congress should absolutely have to abide by every single law that they create. If it affects us, it should affect them. I actually looked into the insurance and the fact that and the insider trading, right? They actually got rid of the laws where they should be prosecuted for it. The people who should be prosecuted got rid of the laws making sure they should be prosecuted for insider trading. That's like, it wasn't just they like to report that it was, these Republicans or these Democrats. It was both, right? We had Republicans and Democrats that profited greatly off of selling stock right before they let everybody else know, hey, we have a pandemic, it's about to get worse, all this stuff. So look, we have, for those of you who are just joining us, I apologize that Delano's not here. I gave him the link. He had agreed to join me on Saturday. Unfortunately, I have not heard from him. I sent him the link several hours ago. I sent a follow-up message asking if he got the link, asking him to connect a few minutes early. So my apologies that he did not show. I'm not making any assumptions. I'm not any of that. Something probably came up. That's my guess. Perhaps we can reschedule at another time, but I'm definitely going to get a lot more verification next time and check with him frequently to make sure that we're good. So yeah. Oh, Connie said, Cow Guy is watching. Hello, Cow Guy. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. So I got my Trump thing in the background. If anybody can think of a way that I can use the board, right? Because that's my guess. The stuff that I have up here, I was going to put something on there so that I can use the dry erase on it, right? And be able to reuse it, because as it is now, if I write on it, it's permanent. So maybe I'll just put my logo on there or something. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments what your ideas are. I'll be having some more guests coming on soon. We have a few people lined up. I want to confirm with them, excuse me, dates and stuff. I had Carlson's for lunch, the chili cheese dogs, and oh my goodness, they're still. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna hook you up next time. I was out. I was hungry. He's mad at me because I didn't bring him. Yeah, he said, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I don't know if you heard him. I love Carlson's, right? Liz, you knew previous owner. I guess it's under new ownership now. So, okay. So yeah, Michael Strauss asked, so his name's Delano. He said, so who is this Delano guy that was supposed to be on tonight? Is he even relevant? Never heard of him. So his name is Delano Scaife. He's another Republican running for the same seat I am, and a couple people have commented, nothing like promoting your opponent. I'm not promoting him, right? But one thing that I feel is absolutely critical is, look, if we're running as a Republican, obviously we share many of the same beliefs, right? We're pro-Constitution. We want less government. We want more personal responsibility. Now, one of the things that I was scheduled to talk about with Delano tonight is actually Delano used to be a Democrat. He's playing. Would you stop it? You're being loud. It's making this weird squishy noise. It's freaking me out. No, it just distracts me. He was a Democrat, right? He ran for state representative in 2018. So one of the things we were going to discuss, and I asked him, and he's like, yeah, that's fine, was his party change, right? He's now running as a Republican. Why? What made him change his mind? What made him change parties? Again, I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but Natalie asked, do I have a number to call in for questions? Yes, absolutely. You can also always reach me when I'm online, right, on Facebook. I see all the comments. I can put them on here, or you can. I generally don't check my phone at all, but maybe I'll start doing. Maybe I'll start doing a call in where maybe I'll have Donovan. No. Screen like the questions and relay them to me, because obviously I don't want to sit here on the phone. Hey, how's it going? But yeah, cool. Right, yeah, he's on board. So usually he's available. We can set something up. I can have him ready with my messenger, because it's kind of hard to check messenger and do this. I'm trying to do that right now to check and see if Delano has responded. I don't know if here's what I wonder, right? I wonder if maybe Delano said, yeah, I want to do it. I'm looking forward to it. Because that's what he said. He said he was looking forward to it. He was jazzed about it. And I wonder if maybe someone said, dude, this is a horrible idea, which is possible, right? I think that's why Mont won't come on, is because his campaign manager is actually the one who actually responded to me when I asked Mont if he would, be willing to come on the show. And his campaign manager is the one that's like, thank you for the kind offer, but we're going to pass. So look, I get it, right? It's not for everyone. Okay. Michael says he can show me how to build a call into StreamYard. Okay, cool. Yeah. Here's one thing I will say about StreamYard, right? This is the program that I decided upon, not just because I can put comments on, but because I can stream to multiple places. It seems to be the most stable. The only time I've ever had an issue with the streaming was the night that I had Kenneth on. It would not stream to Twitter at all, which is really odd because I've never had any other issues with it. But yeah, there's all kinds of, it has all kinds of options. You can do all kinds of banners and cool stuff. See, you can put them here. I had this on here. Look, I think I might start doing that with the topics. What do you guys think? Run it for like the first 5 minutes or so for people that, that join late. Let me know what you think about that. There's all kinds of neat stuff that you can do. There's private chats for whoever's actually, joined, for the guests and stuff. And Paul said he responds on Facebook Messenger. I do. Just let me know on Facebook Messenger, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Sometimes I'm not right at my phone, but as soon as I see it, I will get back with you. Michael says it's conspiracy. Always a conspiracy with Ken. I look, for what it's worth, I've never had an issue. Never. Yeah, Paul says audio and vid are really good today. I had to go back to using the wife's laptop because I had it set up to use my phone, and the holder kept falling down during last night's show when I was going over the big map thing on the wall. The camera it would not stay locked to where it was. So until I can get either a better mount or an independent camera, I think I'm just going to roll with this because I have my son's microphone that he was nice enough to let me borrow for the live streams, and then I'm just using the laptop camera. It's not perfect. I personally, I think my phone camera is higher resolution, right? But this works, and she can do without it for, the hour or whatever. So, hi, what's up? More duct tape, Chris says. Yeah, so that actually was something that I had thought of. Yeah, or sorry, he thought of. He was like, well, what if you just tape it? But I couldn't find something secure enough and the right size to hold it properly. Plus, I'm going to need my phone after, so duct tape isn't exactly the answer in this particular situation. Now, I had thought about maybe some masking tape that was easy to get off or something, but was enough to hold it. I'm still playing with ways. It's frustrating too because we had it actually really, really good. Paul took some time out. Paul said hi, Donovan.
Hello.
Put that up there. There you go. So I had it up there with this holder, right, that came from my car, and it was working. We had it for like hours. It was working fine. And for whatever reason, the next day, now it's not holding. I don't know if something happened to the base of it or whatever. Still working out the kinks, but I'm really hoping that soon I'll be able to get at least a holder that works well or a dedicated camera, because I have my computer set up right here. It's frustrating to me to have to use the wife's computer when I went through all the time to move everything in here and get it all set up and all that, but we'll work it out. We'll get it figured out. So yeah. Fair enough. He says, watch your mouth. Duct tape wasn't the answer. Yeah. So it is what it is, right? No, I'm hoping, oh, really? Mike says that they have a sturdy one at Walmart that squeeze clamps to the edge of a desk. Never failed me yet. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Ralph is confirmed. So we have a special guest coming in Monday his name is Ralph Calhoun. Okay. And he worked with me at the prison, and he now works for ArcelorMittal, the steel mill. He actually has some questions for me since I'm running for Congress, right, that he wants answered. And he hasn't told me what they are. He hasn't communicated with me as to whether he's going to be nice to me. So we'll see. But I can tell you that he knows what he's talking about. He's a very kind guy, but don't do that. I see that, but the issue is, for some reason, after a while, it just gives way. It just gives way and falls down, but I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Thank you. So he's going to be here Monday, and by here, I mean here. He's going to come here. We talked about doing it remotely, and it's not something that he wants to do. He wants to be able to look me in the eyes in person when he asks the questions. So it should be interesting. Part of me is a little worried because he won't tell me what he's going to be asking me, but he said that some of them might be, over my head. I will tell you he has an interesting idea about taxes and the way that we can maybe do something about that. Personally, I'd like to see the IRS. I'd like to see a flat tax personally, like a 17%. It seems to be the magic number as far as flat tax goes. 14% doesn't quite get enough with under a certain amount, right? Like let's say 50,000. I think was the Forbes wrote a thing on it, and it was actually pretty interesting. Will it generate enough? We don't know. We don't know. That's the big thing is, will it generate enough to keep the government going? I don't know. Personally, I'd like to get rid of all taxes, obviously, but let's be real as to whether that's going to happen or not. You know, I do believe that taxation is theft, but would we have the numbers to get rid of that? No. I think there are other ways we could do it. His idea is basically like a purchase tax. Anything you buy has a tax. It's like a sales tax, but I forget the name of it right now. But everything you buy has a certain percentage tax, and that goes to the government. Now, my concern with that is how would that affect Social Security? How would it affect unemployment? All these other things that taxes fund, right? Social Security, stuff like that. And that's another thing Paul said, eliminate the unconstitutional agencies that waste funds. You know, do you guys realize that the federal government isn't even supposed to have an enforcement branch, right? They're not supposed to have the FBI or any of that stuff. It was never in the Constitution. States were intended to police themselves, right? Now, look at what happened with our FBI. Now, I would say that the rank and file, right? The majority of our FBI are good people. I've known a few, right? But the leadership is what corrupts it all. Dave says, fantastic point, Dave. Get rid of lobbyists. That would solve most problems. It would. It boggles my mind how it's okay, how lobbying has been allowed to just run rampant in our government, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Paul, every level of the federal government, LEO isn't permitted, and that's been ignored, right? Along with all these other agencies that have been created and copied and expanded upon until now. I believe, again, the rank and file of these organizations are, in most cases, good people. But the leadership, right? The leadership of, look at what happened with the FBI. See, I told him it just fell. See? Look at what happened with the FBI, with Spygate and all that. So it's unfortunate. It really is. I still haven't heard from Delano, so I will try to communicate with him after this live stream and see if I can find out what happened. My apologies for those of you that just tuned in for that. I will I'll do what I can. So to make sure that further guests don't stand me up. For those, everyone who's watched the show knows that when I say a guest is going to be on, they show up. So this offends me. Dave says, I've seen too many pencil pushers in DC. Oh my goodness, right? Oh my goodness. The number, look, it goes straight to the budget that Trump made, right? The one that the press just was all over about, oh, he's cutting benefits, he's cutting this, and he's not. It all went to waste. It all went to the administrative costs. Cut the administration down, and we can save ridiculous amounts of money, right? Allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices. That's billions of dollars. Cut the sheer, if you go to some of these offices, and in many cases, we don't even have to reduce the employees, right? We just reduce the way that things are done, or expedite the way that things are done. We get, in some cases, go full digital, right? There are stacks and stacks and stacks of paperwork that have to be processed, that have to be printed, that have to all of this, right? Pure digital environment with one single set of paperwork backups that are kept in a secure, safe location. Boom, right? Because we know digital isn't perfect, right? There are always ways around. Yeah, Liz points out $40,000 a year for office furniture. Each of these representatives gets 40 grand a year. You can buy a house with that, right? Not a good house, right? Not a big, massive, beautiful house, but a nice one. Yeah, Dave says get the employees out of the office and into the field. Look, it was necessary, right, back in our grandparents and our parents' day to have someone in the office, someone that was sitting at the desk as a receptionist to greet people coming in, to set up appointments, to do all that. Look at the level of technology now. Look at what we have access to. We have, tablets, phones, virtual assistants, virtual secretaries, all that stuff are easily acquired. There's no reason for a static location that no one moves from. We could save incredible amounts of money just by modernizing some of these offices. Cloud-based computing means that we don't need to have, massive filing cabinets everywhere. We can have instant access. As long as you have internet, you have access. These are all things that our government needs to look into as ways to improve productivity, right? To reduce cost and improve productivity. Because look, even here in LaPorte County, we're supposed to modernize, right? We got the money to modernize, but the number of employees didn't change. So why are we modernizing all this stuff if we're not going to reduce the number of people that are using it? It doesn't make sense. So I'm over my hour mark. I appreciate everybody coming out. My humblest apologies for Delano not showing up. I'm sorry for that. Dave said I would like to see Congress have most of their staffs in their district and not in DC. I agree. Why do you need so many people in DC? That's another question. So little of their job is actually in DC. They're supposed to represent their district, right? The only thing they go to Congress for is to vote on whatever bill is being presented. Why do they need to spend so much money having so many staff doing things in DC? You need your office, right? And you need someone in the office so that they can take care of stuff. That's really, how much more do you need? You have all these junior assistants running around making deals and, slapping people on the back. And I get that that's the way that Washington has been for forever. But see, there you go, Connie. I'm talking about right now. Connie says, I bought my house 6 years ago for $40K. Right. What I'm saying is you're not going to get a mansion. That's what I meant. This house here, right, is not, and you're not going to be able to get a house in, say, Chicago for $40,000. In Northwest Indiana, you can get a good house for $40,000. I'm sorry if it came off like I meant anything other than that. Especially in LaPorte County, Lake and Porter's kind of in between, right? Lake and LaPorte counties. You can get a really nice house in LaPorte County for that, but Lake County, it's a little harder unless you know, but you know what I'm saying. But there are definitely houses you can get out there that are, $40,000. Now your house, right? You got your house for that. Now imagine that for office furniture for 1 year. How does that make any sense? $40,000 a year for office furniture. Now, I don't know if that's all expenses as related to the office or if that's just for furniture. If it's just for furniture, then it's ridiculous. That was my point when they were talking about this bill, the CARES Act, it was an additional, $25 million so that they could start looking into telecommuting to pay for that. Yeah, they have money for that. They have $40,000 a year to figure that out. You don't need $40,000 to telecommute, right? You need a laptop. That's what I'm using on a laptop, a microphone, and I'm streaming to multiple services. You can do that for far cheaper. So I appreciate it, Michael. I'll check that link. I got to figure something out for sure, because I think I'll look at it. I'm not gonna keep going on the clamp and the. All right. So thanks everybody. Tomorrow is just going to be a hangout. I'm probably going to have Donovan on. Orion has to work, so he won't be able to come on. Maybe I'll see if my youngest can connect remotely. He has a phone now, so we'll see. He is with family down in Indianapolis, so we'll see. I appreciate everybody. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the USA.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.